Hey, and welcome back, Shine Tribe, to another episode of soulSHINE. Last week, I shared briefly a phrase that one of my mentors, Melanie Ann Layer, uses for me, for you, for us. And I mentioned the socio-ecological model, which is this multifaceted public health framework for understanding human behavior in relation to its environment. So today I wanted to take you deeper into this concept, but in a way that lights up your heart and your spirit. So over the last year, I've been using this lens to see my work, my relationships, and the way I walk through the world. And I want to invite you to look through this lens too, because it's been quite beautiful. And it sounds really so simple, but actually I think it's a pretty profound, even spiritual principle. And yet I love that it's a grounded, evidence-based way of understanding human behavior and well-being. It's personal, it's relational, it's collective. And so today I want to show you how this isn't just a beautiful idea, how it's backed by decades of psychological and public health research, and how when you live from this framework, your life expands, your relationships deepen, your sense of belonging strengthens, and the decisions you make elevate you and your desires as much as you elevate those that you serve. And it becomes a sustainable ecosystem that you're a part of. So let's get into it. And I'm going to take it over and kind of make it our own here in this soulshine space. So I'm going to propose it as aligned for me in service to you, greater for us. And we're going to go through each phase and we're going to use the socio-ecological model to guide us. So we are shaped by the world around us. And yet we also shape the world around us. Every choice that we make touches those three layers: me, my inner world, my thoughts, my emotions, my agency, my identity, my healing, my desires. You, your relationships, the way that your life interacts with the lives around you, and us, our communities, our environment, our culture, the systems that we live in and that we create together. And so, as I've said a couple of times already, but this is what psychologists and public health experts call the socio-ecological model. And again, I'm not a psychologist, a psychiatrist. I'm not a public health expert. I'm just learning from it and applying it to me in a real life way and finding the beauty in it and also the tools in it, and just want to share it with you for whatever resonates with you or doesn't. Again, I trust you and your power, you and your discernment. And I trust that when you plug in, you find yourself, whether that's through resonance and like, oh, that sounds right for me, or contrast, like, what is this woman saying? That is definitely not right for me. And yet you know yourself more, you remember yourself more. So it's not like anything is good, bad, right, wrong. This is all for remembrance of yourself, strengthening yourself. Okay, let me get back to the socio-ecological model, because there's this famous picture of like these concentric circles. And it starts with the smallest circle that's in the middle, and that's the individual. And then there's a bigger circle around the first circle. It's concentric, and that's interpersonal. And then there's another circle that goes around all of them, organizational, and then another circle. That's our communities. And then the final circle is like policy. And all of these levels influence human behavior, and human behavior influences those levels. So we're in constant communion with the world around us. We don't heal alone, we don't grow alone, we don't succeed alone, and we don't struggle alone either. Your inner world and your outer worlds are always in conversation all the time. And there's a lot of research that shows that this socio-ecological model has so many gifts to support us. So I'm going to share 4 articles that I'm going to speak from just now and put them in the show notes. But to not interrupt the flow, I'm just going to trust that you can go there and find the authors and the full citation and just give you the bullet points. So research in adolescence shows that when the interpersonal layer is strong, meaning like family support, peer connection, school belonging, that teenager's self-esteem rises, as does their well-being. So belonging literally protects the nervous system and self-perception. Another article showed that when individuals feel like I can influence the world around me, which is also called socio-political control, that their self-esteem and their purpose rises. So not only is empowerment a deeply personal experience, but it also has a measurable psychological outcome. Another article showed that teenagers will have more well-being and a stronger sense of self if their neighborhood has a strong sense of community and connection. So this means that we're not just influenced by our environment, we're actually mirrors of it and to it. And the last one to share is that research consistently shows that interventions targeting more than just one level, meaning I'm targeting the individual, the relationship, and the environment, produce the most sustainable change. So this means that human thriving is not one-dimensional. It's multidimensional, it's systemic. And now I want to move from our head a little bit more to our heart and bring all of this research into real life, into your heart, into your relationships, into your decisions. And I want to start with the first layer, which is aligned for me. I think that can feel selfish sometimes, what we're taught, especially with there might be certain identities that you hold, that you need to prove yourself, or your value is based on how selfless you can be, how much you can take care of others, how little that you need. And many of us have experienced that ignoring this inner layer leads to resentment, to burnout, to self-abandonment, and that collapses the whole system. This is, I find, one of the hardest layers, especially for women, caregivers, people who are service-oriented. But when we nourish ourselves, our intuition, our rest, our desires, our worthiness, our boundaries, it ripples outwards. For us to remember, I mean, it sounds so cliche, like what nourishes me nourishes others. But I think the flip side is true too. What harms me harms the system. And that feels like, ooh, I definitely don't want to hurt anybody. So if I can see it in a way that's like, when I'm healed, when I'm strong, when I am full of love, then I can give the most to others. And that's how we build lives and communities that we don't have to escape from or recover from, that we're not resentful to. We all want to serve our loved ones, help them, support them. We all want to make this world a better place, and we're okay with like the scraps, you know? But when we give from depletion, we end up angry and resentful. We shut down our hearts, our purpose, our magic. And so to give to ourselves first allows us to give from generosity and overflow. And there's a whole episode about giving from abundance instead of depletion. It was episode 22. Change the world when you give from overflow, I think is what it's called. It's an important first step. And I think when we've abandoned ourselves for so long, you kind of wonder like, well, how the heck do I give to myself anyways? Like, what does it mean to give to myself freely, fully? And of course, you're the only one to know for sure, but it might look like listening to your intuition, honoring your desires, speaking up what your truth is, rebuilding and maintaining your self-worth from you, setting boundaries that reflect your truth, but from a place of love and respect for yourself, not from a place of like punishment for the other person or manipulation of this. This might be where you ask like, is this true for me? Is this nurturing me, nourishing me? Is this aligned with who I'm becoming, who I want to be? Because when you are in that alignment, you can self-source your strength, your courage, your love, your peace. And it so naturally creates a sense of overflow and abundance that of course you naturally turn to the world around you when you're so full and you're like, I feel amazing. What can I do for you today? How can I listen? How can I hold space for you? I love you. I feel great. What about you? You know, like, have you ever felt that way? And you're like, immediately because you're full, you're like, what about you? I'm in service to you. What do you need today? And you're so full of empathy and respect and this shared humanity because you've met all of your needs and desires first. You've honored yourself first. And so now naturally, you want to like honor the person next to you, to support them, to serve them, giving from abundance and not from depletion, from generosity instead of obligation, from overflow instead of self-abandonment. And because there's no longer like me versus you get it all, I get scraps. No. Now it's like me and you. I have more than enough. How can I give this to you? So now there's an us, you know? And with each person fully supported, you really naturally move into something even greater than me or you, the greater than us. And that's the community we're a part of. the systems we live in, the culture we create. Here we see that my fullest self and your fullest self create something even greater for the whole ecosystem that could uplift our community, that could create a world that we both want to live in. Greater for us is where purpose lives, where legacy lives, where meaning expands from personal to collective, where you make decisions through all three lenses. Your life becomes pretty clear, like a choice that's aligned for me, but not in service to you, self-serving. A choice that is in service to you, but not aligned to me, self-abandoning. A choice that is greater for us, but not aligned for me, unsustainable. A choice that honors all three, aligned for me, that's in service to you, and greater for us. That's fulfilling, that's sustainable, that's leadership. And so as we close out today, I want you to get curious about the beliefs that this stirred up for you. Like, what do you think is selfish? What makes you a good, quote unquote, person? Can you still be, quote unquote, good if you're filling up your needs and your wants and your desires? Can you see how it goes beyond selfish when you're self-filling and flowing into the next person? Can you see that you, to your relationships, to your community, are all connected in this constant dynamic dialogue? One where you feel connected, whole, belonging from the inside all the way out, aligned for me, in service to you, greater for us, a psychological framework, a spiritual practice, a way of life, a philosophy, however you want to make it. I know this episode is pretty short, but I think it's a simple enough topic that just was so quickly introduced in the last podcast, and I wanted to take just a little bit of time to explore the layers and just stir something in you for contemplation, like stir something in you to see what you believe for you, for me, for us. And like also what happens when you get the order out of order, like for you, for me, for us, feels kind of different too, doesn't it? Like same with like going back to earlier, I'll give you everything and I'll take the scraps. Is that really for me? Is that really aligned for me? How can I do it in a way that is so fulfilling and delicious and satisfying to me? I can't wait to give to you. And because now I'm full and you're full, the both of us together can like take on the world, the community, the project, the purpose. So for our closing tradition, here are a few just questions to contemplate and take with you. Where am I currently overgiving or under-listening to any of these three layers? Which layer might need some nourishment right now? What is one decision that I can make, no matter how small, that honors all three? As always, wishing you play, possibility, and peace. Wishing you to feel supported in this space and so honored to be a part of your soul tribe. I'm sending you love, and I'll see you next week. Bye.